Hi everyone, welcome to class. My name is Julia. This is going to be a 30-minute vinyasa flow focusing on hip flexibility and mobility. All that you need for class today is your mat. And if you like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started. We'll begin our practice today in child's pose. So you can take your knees as wide as you'd like, and then extending the arms out in front of you, take your forehead to the mat. You can relax your forearms, relax completely, surrendering into the ground here. And then beginning to bring more awareness to your breath, taking full inhales and exhales out of your nose, and then try to maintain that same awareness of the breath throughout our practice. And if it's in your practice, you might engage Ujjayi pranayama, which is that ocean-sounding breath where you constrict the back of the throat. When you're ready, we'll make our way to tabletop position, stacking shoulders over the wrists and hips over your knees. Find a flat spine, and we'll warm up with some cat-cows. So you'll inhale to drop the belly and gaze up. Exhale, push the mat away, round the spine, tuck the navel in. Inhale to look up for cow. Exhale to round for cat. Really pushing the ground away from you. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round through the spine. Continuing with your breath, with each inhale, dropping the belly, arching the spine, and with each exhale, rounding through the spine. Tuck the chin under. Take a moment, find a neutral spine here. Then we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips for our first downward dog. Press all 10 fingertips into the mat, and you can start to pedal out the feet to open up through the calves. Find a nice long spine as you lift your sit bones towards the sky. Relax your neck and head and externally rotate shoulders away from the ears. Find stillness, and then we'll come up onto the toes and drop your heels over to the right side for a side body stretch. Keep the shoulders square as you breathe into your left side body. Coming through center, and then we'll take it over to the left, dropping the heels. Opening up through the right side body, keeping the shoulders squared. Coming back to downward dog. We'll begin to tiptoe the feet to meet the hands, coming into a forward fold. We'll inhale with a flat spine. You can take your fingertips to the ground or to your shins. Exhale to fold. Take a hold of opposite elbows, hang here in ragdoll. Gently sway from side to side, shifting the weight from one foot to the other. As you release any tension in the lower back, relaxing the head and the neck. Inhale with a flat back, taking your gaze to the ground a few feet in front. And then exhale, fold. We'll plant the right palm between the feet, bending through the right leg, and then inhale to lift the left arm up, taking a twist over to the left. Breathing. And exhale to release back through center. We'll plant the left palm, bending the left leg and reaching up with the right arm. And use your core to help you twist deeper into this posture. Exhale, let it go. Let your arms hang heavy, bend the knees, and then slowly start to rise one vertebrae at a time. Your head will be the last thing to come up. Roll your shoulders down your spine and find mountain pose. Ground all 10 toes into the ground. Let your kneecaps lift slightly and find a nice long spine. Your fingertips actively extending towards the earth. Inhale to sweep your arms up towards the sky. Look up, find length. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhaling with a flat back. Taking your hands to your shins, gaze forward. And then exhale, plant the palm, step it back. Press the ground away, create space between the shoulder blades, and then lower down through chaturanga, squeezing the elbows in. Inhale for upward dog, stacking shoulders over the wrists as knees stay lifted. Exhale, press it back to a downward dog. Feel free to bend the knees in down dog. We'll inhale to lift the right leg up towards the sky for three-leg dog. And then exhale, bend the knee and open up the hip, keeping the shoulders square. You can start to create circular motions with the hip, releasing any tension that you might be holding. And then exhale, coming back to your downward dog. And we'll take that over to the other side. We'll lift the left leg up towards the sky, find a 3-leg dog, squaring the hips, then bend the knee, taking your heel towards your glutes, open up the hip, keeping shoulders in one line. And then again, we can take circular motions here, really getting into that hip flexor. Making sure to relax the neck, coming back to your downward dog. Gaze forward and then walk your feet to meet your hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale with a flat back. Exhale to fold. And we'll come to rise, keeping a flat spine. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up, tuck the pelvis under. Then exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll move through Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling with a flat spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back, moving through your vinyasa. Inhale for upward dog and exhale for downward dog. Breathing here. Again, feel free to bend the knees as you lengthen through the spine and lift your sits bones towards the sky. Walk your hands and feet a bit closer, coming into a short downward dog. And then take your right hand over to your left ankle, gazing underneath your left arm. Take a twist. Try and keep the hips square. Breathing, again, tucking your navel in, engaging the core. Exhale to release, and then taking that over to the other side. Your left hand will reach for your right ankle. Gazing underneath your right armpit as you twist deeper. Come back to your downward dog. Stepping the feet back, walking the hands forward. Take a moment. And then inhale, lift your right leg for 3-leg dog. Dial down the right pinky toe to square the hips. Step your foot between your palms. Find a low lunge. Drop the back knee. Untuck your back toes. Lift the chest. Find a long spine. Gently tuck your pelvis under to take out any arch in the lower back. And begin to shift your weight forward, stretching into the left hip flexor. And we'll warm up with some dynamic movement. Shift your hips back, straighten out through the front leg as you flex your right foot and fold forward. Inhale, bending through the right leg, lift the chest. Exhale, press it back to a half split. Inhale, coming forward, bending that right leg. One more time, press it back, half split. Inhale, shift the weight forward. And then plant the palms, tuck the back toe, send the right leg back up to 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip, and if it's in your practice, find Wild Thing. First, take your gaze over to the ground to your left as you spin onto the outside edge of your left foot. Then gently place your right foot on the ground behind you as you spin the chest open, look towards your right hand. And then coming out of it the same way, gaze towards your right hand and start to unravel. Plant your right palm, lift your right leg, 3-leg dog. Come back to down dog and we'll take that on the opposite side. Lift your left leg, 3-leg dog, bend the knee, open up the hip. Keeping shoulders square, then extend the left leg. We'll shift the weight forward, bring your knee to your nose as you step your left foot between the palms, find a low lunge. Untuck the back foot, drop the back knee. And then lifting the chest. Again, tucking pelvis under to take any bend out of the lower back. Shift the weight forward, breathing into that right hip flexor, and we'll find dynamic movement again here. Exhale, straighten through that front leg. Flex the foot for half split. Inhale, shift the weight forward, bending through the left knee. Exhale, press it back. Continuing to move with the breath. One more time, bending through that front leg. Exhale for half splits. Again, bending the left knee, plant the palms, and then send your left foot back up to 3-legged dog, squaring the hips. And then bend the knee, open up the hip. If you took it on the other side, find Wild Thing, gently dropping that left leg back behind you, opening up through the chest, gaze towards your left hand. And then exhale, unravel, plant the left palm, extend the left leg up towards the sky, and then find downward dog. Gaze towards your hands, and then walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhaling with a flat back and exhale to fold. Find a long spine as you step your feet hips distance apart. Take your 2 peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes, and then fold forward. If you have a little extra slack in the arms, take your elbows to point outward as you fold deeper into this pose. Shift your weight forward into your toes here. Release your hands and then inhale with a flat back. Exhale to fold. And then come to rise with a flat back. Sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale the hands to heart center. We'll move through a few more standing postures. So inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. You can take a slight back bend if you like, bending from behind your heart. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale with a flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back. Lower through your vinyasa. Inhale for upward dog. Exhale, press it back, downward dog. Find a nice long spine. Rotate your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lift the right leg, 3-leg dog. Dial down that right pinky toe. Exhale, step it between your hands. Inhale, lift your chest, find crescent warrior. Your back knee and back heel will stay lifted. Cactus your arms, take a back bend, opening up through the chest, staying strong in the legs. Coming back to a neutral spine and then dropping the back knee, find a low lunge. Shift the weight forward, stacking your right knee over the right ankle. And we'll make our way to lizard lunge. So you'll plant the palms on the inside edge of the right foot and then gently start to toe heel your right foot out to the side. You can stay up on your palms if you like, or maybe coming down onto forearms. Come back up onto your palms and then we'll open up the hip. Take your right hand to your knee to gently press the hip open, taking a bit of a twist here as well. You can stay here, or if it's available, drop onto your left forearm. And then if you like, you can reach back for the left foot, taking a quad stretch here. Gently release that back foot if you have it. Making your way back onto your palms. And then toe heel that right foot back to center. Find your low lunge. We'll engage the back quadricep by gently lifting the back heel towards your glutes. And we'll do this 5 times. 2. Try your best to keep the weight shifting forward. 3. Feel free to flex through that back foot to make it a bit easier here. And 5. Find half splits, straighten out through that front leg, flex the front foot with a flat back, fold forward over your right leg. You can stay here, or if you have Hanumanasana in your practice, come into full splits if you'd like. A little trick that I like to use is to keep that back foot tucked to help square the hips. You can keep your hands on the ground for support, or if it's available, maybe taking the hands to your hips, really surrendering into this posture. Gently start to come out of it, plant your palms, coming back into your low lunge, and then step the right leg back to a 3-legged dog. Exhale, downward dog. And we'll take that on opposite side. So lift your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step it forward between your palms. Find crescent warrior. Back heel, back knee stays lifted. Lift the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, take a back bend. Cactus the arms, opening up through the chest. Inhale, lift the arms, and then drop the back knee, finding your low lunge. Shift the weight forward, and then we'll find lizard lunge. Bringing the palms to the inside edge of the left foot, and then toe heeling the left foot out to the side. Feel free to drop down to your forearms. Breathing here into that hip flexor. Plant your palms, lift the chest, and then you can gently use your left hand to press the hip open, twisting over to the left. Stay here, or if it's available, you can drop onto your right forearm and reach back for the left foot, taking the quad stretch. Exhale, let it go. Coming back through center, plant the palms, walk your left foot in towards the center. Find your low lunge, and then we'll do that same quad engaging exercise that we did on the other side, hugging that right quad in towards the glutes. 5 times. 3, 4, sinking your hips deeper each time, and 5. We'll find our half split, straightening out through the left leg, flexing that front foot, and folding forward. Stay here, or if it's in your practice, find full splits on the left side. Option to keep that right foot tucked. Trying our best to surrender into this pose, breathing into any areas where we feel pain or tension. With each exhale, relaxing a little deeper into the pose. And then gently coming out of it, step your left foot back to 3-leg dog. Exhale for downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. And then toe heel your feet a little bit wider than hips distance, about as wide as the mat. And drop the hips. We'll find Yogi squat. Your toes will point outward. You can take your hands to heart center. As you use your triceps to press your hips open, find a nice long spine. Plant your right hand on the floor to your right as you lift the left arm up towards the sky, open up the chest. If it's available, you can interlace the fingers back behind you, taking a twist, gazing over the left shoulder. Release the bind if you have it, coming back through center. We'll take that on the other side. So planting the left hand, opening up the chest. If it's available, taking the bind, try and keep your hips square. Exhale, back through center. Plant the palms, lift the hips, and then toe heel your feet to touch. Inhale, find a long spine. Exhale to fold. And then walk your hands back out in front of you, coming to a plank. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, press the hips back for downward dog. You can bend the knees, roll your shoulders away from your ears, lift your hips. Lift your right leg for 3-leg dog, and then we'll take pigeon on the right side. So you'll take your right shin to the ground. It's okay if your shin's not quite parallel with the front side of the mat. It's important that you keep the hips square. So if you have a block, you can place it underneath your right hip if it's lifted. And then if you're good here, you can fold over your right leg. Really surrendering into this pose, breathing deeply. With each exhale, feel your body relaxing a little bit more. Relaxing the facial muscles. And when you're ready, you can start to walk the hands back, lifting the chest. And then tucking the back toes, we'll lift the right leg up to 3-legged dog. Open up the hip. You can make circles again if it feels good. Then exhale, release back to downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. And then coming into pigeon on the left side. Again, it's okay if your heel's coming more in towards your groin. You can take a peek over your left side to make sure that your hips are squared. And then if you're okay, folding over the front leg. Again, sending the breath into any areas where we might feel a little extra tension, relaxing the facial muscles, and surrendering completely. Start to walk the hands back, lift the chest, tuck the back toes, and then send the left leg up to 3-leg dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip, you can make circles. Exhale, release it back down to 3-legged dog. Gaze forward and travel there. Step your feet to meet your hands into a forward fold. Inhale with a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise with a flat spine. Take your hands to your hips. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Find a wide-legged stance. Your toes can point outwards. And then we'll come into goddess squat. So bending the knees to create a 90-degree angle. And then you can cactus the arms here. Feeling the heat building in your thighs and your quads. Straighten out through the legs, and we'll find skandasana on the right side, bending the right knee, dropping the hips. Try and keep your right foot flat as you flex the left foot. You can use your hands here, and then taking it over to the left side, walking your hands from one side to the other. If you'd like to challenge yourself, you can try with no hands, keeping the chest lifted. Finding some dynamic movement here, moving with our breath. Beautiful, coming back to center. And we'll find frog pose. So coming on to the mat, create a 90-degree angle with both knees. And then try and keep your hips in line with your knees. Coming onto your forearms, taking this deep hip opener. This may be a very intense pose for some of us. Just breathing through it. Trying our best to relax. And we'll stay here for just a few moments. Making our way back up onto our palms, and then to come out of it, you can shift the weight forward and then kind of awkwardly bring your knees closer together. Come back to facing the front of the mat. And then we'll make our way onto our backs with soles of the feet flat on the mat. You can take your feet about hips distance. And then if it feels good for you, you can windshield wipe the knees from one side to the other. We'll set up for bridge pose with the soles of the feet flat on the mat and your palms by your sides. You want to make sure that your fingertips are just barely able to touch your heels. Pressing into the palms, lift your hips, and then you can walk your shoulder blades closer together, maybe interlacing the palms underneath your back. Lift the hips high, create a gentle tuck of the chin. Your knees are stacked over your ankles. Engage your glutes. When you're ready, you can release your grip, dropping the hips back down to the mat slowly and with control. We can take bridge one more time, or if you have it in your practice and you want to take full wheel, that's an option as well. So for full wheel, you'll plant your palms by your ears, tuck the chin, and then lift the hips, press up, coming into wheel pose. If you're in full wheel, shift the weight back to really open up through the shoulders and the chest. To come out of it, tuck the chin, gently release back down to the ground. And then again, you can windshield wipe the knees from one side to the other to release the lower back. Press yourself up to a seated position, and then we'll find a wide leg seated posture, extending both legs out to the sides. And then taking a side body stretch over to the right side, your left arm will reach up and overhead. Open your chest towards the sky. And then finding dynamic movement, walk your hands to the center and then over to the left. Your right arm will reach overhead, spinning your chest open, and then back through center, back over to the right. And then one more time through center, and to the left side. Finally, come back to the center and we'll rest here for a few moments. So taking it only as deep as your body will allow, not straining too hard, and maybe with each exhale we'll fold a little bit deeper. Walk your hands back to come up to a seat. And then coming back to the front of your mat, take both legs out in front of you for staff pose. Find a nice long spine. And we'll set up for head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Create a figure 4, taking the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Reach up, find a long spine, and then fold forward. Breathing here. Inhale, lift the chest. And we'll take it to the opposite side. So your left leg will bend, taking the left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh. Reach up and then fold over your right leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Extend both legs out in front of you for Paschimottanasana. Reach up and then fold it forward. You can bend your elbows and use your biceps to help you fold a little deeper. Inhale, lift the chest. We'll take a seated twist, so cross your right foot across your left leg. Plant your right hand back behind you as you reach up with the left hand. Hook your left elbow behind your knee as you twist over to the right. Gaze behind you. With each exhale, use your core to twist a little deeper. Exhale back through center. And we'll take it to the other side. So your left foot will cross over your right leg. Plant your left palm behind you, reach up, and then twist over to the left. Release back through center. Then making our way onto our backs, taking any final postures that your body needs at this time. Maybe that's a happy baby, so taking a hold of the outside edge of your feet. And then find the action as if your feet are lifting up, but your hands are pulling downward. So really finding that engagement and trying to keep your back flat on the ground. And when you're ready, let it go, finding Shavasana, taking up as much space on the mat as you'd like, relaxing every muscle in the body, relaxing any tension in the face, and then taking a final meditation. Feel your body melting into the ground, releasing any thoughts that arise, and feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for practicing with me.